players, our staff are extremely excited to get this into game week. Our guys have been working diligently since January. Really impressed with, in particular, our senior leadership. And we have a tall task this week, playing a very talented, very well coached USC team. We saw that firsthand last December, and get a chance to do it again in their backyard come this Saturday. Encouraged that we're going to have a great contingent of Red Wave fans down there again, and hopefully we'll have a performance that'll hold up to what their standards are for us and our own standards. We're excited about this opportunity and ready to get this final week kicked off before we go.
Coach, I don't know that I've seen a depth chart to start the season with this many oars on it. Does that concern you, or what should we read into that?
Well, I think there's a couple of things depending on the position. I think we have some depth. If you look at our quarterback position, we really feel good about Brandon and Brian, and both of them have different skill sets. Both will play, and we'll figure out on Saturday, which of those two will play. You look at other positions. Tyler is in a unique position that he can play either nose or end, and we like what Maurice Poyadu's done. We also like what Nate Matson's done, and depending on personnel and depending on what we foresee happening this week, he'll start at nose or end. Tyler will start, and it depends on Maurice or Nate. And you look at our corner positions, a little bit different. We had a couple guys, who were nicked up with hamstrings and ankles that really didn't get a full evaluation on. That we need some further evaluation on. And we're going to play multiple guys at that position. So yeah, you'd love to be locked in. Hey, these guys are all our returning starters, but that's not how it is.
So you're saying to some extent, though, it reflects versatility as much as uncertainty? No
doubt. And like I said, it's really position dependent. I like where we're at quarterback, but we'll see when we get live bullets how both of them handle it.
Are you ready to tell us which one's going to get the first series at quarterback?
We'll tell you on Saturday afternoon right before we go on out there.
On film, how much different is this USC team than the one that you faced? Obviously, we know there's a new coaching staff, but personnel-wise, what have you seen that's different from the bowl game in December?
Well, obviously we haven't seen their freshmen other than maybe high school tape, so you don't know on video what's different. You do know schematically. They're going to run Coach Sarkisian's offense they ran up in Washington. At least that's the reports we're getting. They're going to be an up-tempo, primarily one-back team. They'll be multiple, just like they were up there. We know they're very, very talented. And when you get explosive players out in space, it makes for a very, very difficult challenge defensively. I guess one of the good news things for us is that we see that type of offense every day. So I don't know that the tempo itself will be something new. The athletes they have doing it will be a little bit different than what we've seen in the past.
Coach, if you can let us in for a second, how personally are you taking Saturday's game after what happened in December?
I take every game personally. It's a matter of pride. Every time we wear Bulldogs on our chest or on our helmet, we're going out to win a football game. We did not compete as well as what we'd hoped to last December. We've challenged our team with that. We've got to go down there in the mindset of it's going to be a 60-minute fist fight, and we've got to show up for every minute of it. And we do that, we'll have a chance to compete. If we go in there tentative, we won't have a chance to compete. They're that talented.
Coach, in a scheme type of thing, not giving any details about game plan, not asking Henry about that, but
I appreciate that.
How do you say when you're playing a team with speed, maybe more speed, more athletic, bigger? What is some of the things that you teach to say, hey, look, athletic or speed-wise, we're not going to necessarily play man-to-man all the time. How do you slow down a game to make teams make mistakes? If you can elaborate.
Well, I think there's a couple things there, Lorenzo. One is, our mantra of playing fast, physical, and fanatical. When you play fast on offense, and you can maybe get a team to not get lined up, make them be a little bit tired, they're a half a step slower. Those bigger guys, that extra bulk may hinder them a little bit. Playing physical. When guys are tired and you're in better shape, you can play physical. And then just playing with fanatical effort. I think our guys know the level that we have to play with to have a chance to compete. So that's the one side of it. The flip side of it is defensively, we've got to do a great job disguising coverages, mixing coverages, not letting that quarterback know when somebody's going to be manned up, and maybe let them think that, but then roll coverages late. So those types of things is what you do.
Coach, their secondary last year, they've got 3 of those 4 guys back for this game. Was that the best secondary that your team faced last year?
Yeah, I think statistically, you look at what they were able to do. I thought they were physical on our receivers. Anytime I think you can get a pass rush with 4, which they were able to not necessarily get a bunch of sacks, but got pressure on our quarterback last year, and they had guys playing some tight coverage. We had a few opportunities that we didn't take advantage of. We've got to take advantage of. Those are things we have control over. When a ball is thrown and we're behind coverage and we get a chance to make an explosive play and we don't make it, 2 things happen. One, you lose those yards, but more importantly, that psyche of that the slumped shoulder. We had some of that in the bowl game. We got to get rid of that. There's got to be resolve there that, hey, if I don't make a play, I'm human. I might make a mistake. There's got to be a resolve that I'm going to make up for it the next time, and that's what we got to focus on.
Coach, I'm listening to some of your veteran guys like Duran and Adro. They sound really unfazed by heading into USC. How do you feel that next group of players that haven't had that experience and haven't had those starts, how are they mentally coming along?
We'll find out. That's the beauty of having young guys. We've got some talented young guys, but until you're in that arena and you see their eyes and they hear fight on and they got 90,000 people around, do they get the glazed over look or do they have that look of resolve? And there's going to be adrenaline. There's going to be a surge of it. How can you sustain after that first play? Hey, let's keep fighting. Let's keep fighting. That's going to be our challenge, and we'll try to keep all those young guys on task.
Speaking of young guys, I think I counted 2 true freshmen on the 2 deep. Are there some more that are maybe still in the mix going forward?
Yeah, I think we'll travel maybe a half dozen guys down that are true freshmen, and we'll see how it plays out.
Just so I'm clear, you're not announcing the starting quarterback and just saying both guys are going to play. You're doing that because you think it's best for your football team, not because it's going to give you some advantage against USC. You don't think they're sitting here worrying about it?
No, I don't think USC worries about it. It's just something that we want to see how our guys progress again this week. There's really been no differentiator to tell us this is the guy or this is the guy. And again, both will play. So to us, it's probably more of a concern for our fans and for the media on who starts.
Right.
They're both going to play.
Coach, the quarterback is normally sort of the leader on the offensive side. You've had Derek in that position for a long time. Without having a guy who's the guy there, do you worry about losing some of the leadership on that side of the ball?
I don't think so. We had a vote for team captains a little over a week ago, and our team voted on Josh Harper as an offensive captain, and it was pretty clear by the vote that he kind of won it going away, and then Duran is our defensive captain, and Duran's a 2-time captain. I think both those guys have done a nice job of leading. And having said that, when the quarterbacks, whether it's Brian or whether it's Brandon, when they're in the huddle, those guys know that's the quarterback. He's the leader right now. So I don't think that's an issue. I'd be a little bit more concerned if Ryan Burrell played like he did in the spring. I didn't think he had the command of the offense in the spring. And I think a lot of that was, having played in the shadow of Derek and wasn't quite sure that this was his team yet. But I think through the summer, he's really done a nice job of commanding the team. And I think Brandon's been in a situation where he's played 4 years. He knows what it takes, and he's had that same moxie, that same persona that when I'm in that huddle, you better listen, this is where we're going, and I'm leading you. So I like both those guys.
I've got one more. It's a little bit off the wall here, Coach. You talked about not having seen this USC team on film, and they have some true freshmen that are going to play that there's no college film, but one of them is from your alma mater, St. John Bosco, and he's 370 pounds. Damian Mama starting on the offensive line. How significant a talent is he? How rare is that kind of size? And do you think that maybe a true freshman is somebody you might be able to take advantage of?
Well, he's a massive young man. I've seen him up close and personal. We offered him as a sophomore a couple years back. Would have loved to seen him in Bulldog Red, but he decided to stay closer to home. I think it's a testament to his talent that he's able to come in as a true freshman, and they've already projected him as a starting guard. 370 might be, generous. He may be more than that now. I heard a rumor that they have a sport coat that they have for all their pictures. They've had it for 10 years, and everybody, has been able to put on this triple X, whatever, and he couldn't get an arm in it. And so, I mean, he's a large human. We'll see. We liked him as big as he was. We thought he was very athletic, very talented, and obviously USC did too. So, taking advantage of him, I don't know how you take advantage of a 370-pound athletic guy. So maybe we're hoping he didn't take advantage of us.